I'm Kevin Slavin. I'm the president of Starling, and I'm informing Informilo.
Hi, thanks so much for joining us and telling us about your company. You just launched, right?
Yeah, we launched April 13th at MIP in Cannes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about Starling and the space that you're representing.
Okay, so basically, there's I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can edit.
Sorry, I haven't had to do this for very long.
It's absolutely fine. I can edit. So.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so there's an existing behavior around television that's really kind of fascinating for everybody who's really part of it or looking at it, and that has to do with the ways that television is becoming social without having to change television itself. And the ways that it's become social is that people are already connecting to each other around the TV that they're watching. And so if you look at the Twitter stream during a big broadcast, it's often a huge amount of the traffic will be about whatever that big broadcast is. If you look at the top trends on Twitter on any given day, it's usually one or two big American broadcasts.
But as you've mentioned to me, it's very chaotic. So
Right.
you had used an example with me about the European Football Championship.
Right.
Who do you follow?
Right.
Your
Right.
team, somebody else's team,
Right.
so.
Right.
So what you're trying to do is to bring this all together in one place,
To focus that conversation.
so that you can see what your friends are saying,
Yeah.
you can see what other people are saying,
Exactly.
and feel like you can share your opinion real time about what you're watching.
Exactly. The beauty of social media is that it's an unstructured conversation, but also the opportunity is to provide just enough structure so that we can have the most meaningful conversation about whatever it is that we're fascinated by, which is often television.
Right. Okay, now, so you haven't launched yet, but when you do, which will be in September, how will people be able to use this?
So basically, Starling is a web app, a mobile app, and a tablet app that you'll be able to come in through any of those. You'll sort of be presented with an electronic program the same way you have been with your TV. But for the first time, you'll also be able to understand what your friends are watching right away and enter into that conversation around that particular show. So if you're sitting down to watch Lost, you sign in to Lost and enter the conversation around Lost. And
Okay.
Unlike unstructured social media like Facebook or Twitter, you know that conversation is going to be meaningful to the show that you're actually engaged with and valuable to you. And it's not to say that doesn't also connect out into the ecosystem. This is not about trying to build walls around it. What it is doing is sort of providing a lens through which to make that conversation meaningful.
Okay. So some early pioneers in internet TV also tried to capture the social networking aspect, like Juiced and Babblegum, but it didn't seem to work so well. Why?
Yeah. Well, I think partly, the challenge that Juiced had in front of it was not only were they, sort of bringing online video to the world, but they also had to build the social graph at the same time, and that's a huge undertaking. And it's essentially the shift is in the ecosystem, and the ecosystem online is that we are all already connected in ways that we weren't connected when Juice came to market. And I think that the opportunity to take advantage of is the ways that we're already connected and just be able to somehow focus those connections.
Right.
So I think that it's exactly the reason that we see this existing behavior is because we're already connected around TV.
Right.
And that just wasn't really true when Juiced came out.
Okay. Now you're attacking a space that has also captured the attention of big players like Comcast.
Yeah.
What makes you think that your company can win in this space?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about the web is that in the end, it is really about what that user experience is. Fundamentally, it's how do you understand what motivates someone to even have that conversation in the first place? And I come out of 5 years of running a game development company in New York. And my partners come from executive positions within MTV and Fremantle, but in this sort of digital space within that. And we've been focused, all of us, on how people connect for many, many years. That's never been Comcast's business.
Right, so you're going at it from the viewer perspective
Exactly.
rather than the network perspective.
Exactly. It's Comcast has been excellent at distribution, basically,
Yeah.
and broadcast,
Yeah.
and that's in a way. I'm not going to say it's the opposite of understanding how people connect, but it's just a different viewpoint. And I think that in the end, people use the services that connect them better.
Yeah.
And I'm quite confident about our ability to do that very well.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the business model.
Okay, so there's an opportunity within social media to be able to provide advertisers with a way to actually have something standard, to have a standard inventory within social media. It's a real problem if you're an advertising agency to sort of carve out some of your social media budget, which you have to do because it's where the people are.
Yeah.
And then every time build something bespoke, and go out to the creatives in the agency or outside that and try to figure out what the social media idea for this client is, and this client and this client. Meanwhile, when you go to buy TV, you just put it in this slot. You put it in this slot. And so to be able to add digital inventory to a television buy is a huge opportunity for advertising agencies to effectively extend their reach, beyond TV into that conversation stream. So
I guess the fact that JWT is, signed up to do a beta on this illustrates the interest of the advertising community.
It's a very difficult problem for an advertising agency to solve. They can't create the medium that they are then providing inventory to. Right? So that's what we want to create.
Okay. But that's not going to be your only revenue stream, right?
Right. So the other revenue stream is understanding that the same things that make Starling really valuable to the people who are using it also make it valuable to broadcasters and producers who have had to rely on Nielsen data for a couple decades. And Nielsen data is what it is. It represents a certain number of families, a certain amount of, a certain type of behavior. It's published whenever it's published, and so on. And the idea of being able to get real-time analytics from how people are watching is something that the web has had native, from its inception, and TV has never had.
Right.
And to be able to add that analytic layer allows broadcasters to have a much cleaner sense of what it is that people actually are watching when they're watching it the most, and also to be able to understand viewers better, and in terms of like what types of entertainment they even want to really see.
And whether they stay on the network and watch the next show and so forth. So you would be selling this analytical data to the producers of the shows.
So it's that dual revenue stream.
And you're currently fundraising?
We are fundraising. Yeah, we're launching in September, and we're looking for basically an initial round to get us to that launch.
So well, thank you very much. Well, best of luck. We'll be watching this space and watching Starling's progress. So thanks a lot.
Thanks to you.
Okay, bye-bye.